ticking time bomb for the global economy as markets find themselves in free fall, why penguins are to blame, and why a tariff war is always a risky endeavor. Let's examine all the political elements and put them in place. This is the Mendeleva table. Let's figure it out together. The day of America's liberation from freeloaders, as Trump called April 2nd. On this day, the White House announced the toughest tariffs in 100 years. Customs duties were imposed on goods from 185 countries. However, Belarus and Russia are not mentioned in the published reports. Among the former USSR countries, Trump announced the highest tariffs of over 30% for Moldova, 27% for Kazakhstan, and 10% for others, including Ukraine. For some countries, they will take effect from April 9th. These measures are needed by Washington to restore the country's economy, and because America, quote, was robbed by other countries. An attempt to revive the American dream.
We had the American dream, which is talked about less and less. We talked about it 4 years ago, and now, but for many years and even decades, you weren't reminded of it. Our country and its taxpayers were robbed for over 50 years, but that will no longer happen.
The new measures risk turning into a requiem for the dream. Global markets found themselves in free fall. The BBC calls Trump's tariffs the fulfillment of a long-standing goal and his biggest gamble. Apple shares fell 7.5% in after-hours trading. Some of the highest tariffs are in countries where this technology is assembled: Vietnam, China, and India. Nike futures also dropped significantly due to tariffs on goods from Vietnam. 50% of the company's products are made there. Overall, the betting agency Polymarket estimated the probability of a U.S. recession at 50%. The day before, this figure was around 40.
Experts are very skeptical. They believe tariffs raise prices and make the economy less efficient. Tariffs harm companies, American factories that have to import equipment to produce their goods. As a result, their costs rise, and they become less competitive in the global market.
Prices will rise globally, especially in sectors dependent on imports. But the U.S. Treasury Secretary urged other countries to take a deep breath and not take immediate retaliatory measures.
The history of trade is that we are a country with a deficit. A country with a deficit has advantages. They are countries with a surplus. Traditionally, surplus countries always lose in any trade escalation.
Both friends and foes were hit by the tariffs, but the reaction is roughly the same. They will fight back. Promising a golden age for America, Trump imposed restrictions even on close allies. The European Union, which got a 20% tariff sector, has already promised a response. As the newspaper País clarifies, Brussels has no red lines. In addition to symmetrical measures, the European Commission may close the EU market to certain American goods and services.
Uncertainty will grow and provoke further protectionism. The consequences will be dire for millions of people worldwide, as well as for the most vulnerable countries, which are now subject to some of the highest U.S. tariffs, contrary to what we wanted to achieve. Tariffs will harm consumers worldwide.
A powerful blow was dealt to China. The tariffs for the country amounted to 34%. According to China's Ministry of Commerce, Trump's approach ignores the balance of interests achieved over many years, relies on subjective assessments, and does not comply with international trade rules. Even birds were affected. Tariffs were imposed on the uninhabited Heard and McDonald Islands in the Pacific Ocean. Only penguins inhabit the icy archipelago.
Smile and wave, boys, smile and wave.
Countries and peoples have long fought each other for trade advantages. In the 17th century, England, France, and Holland almost continuously engaged in trade wars, which occasionally escalated into bloody armed conflicts. And now the hatchet of the trade war has been dug up again.